Welcome children. Today I will continue the lesson The Enchanted Pool. Take page number 45. After anxious waiting, Yudhishthir turned to Bhima. Dear brother, Arjuna, the great hero, has also not yet returned. Something terrible must have happened to our brothers. Please seek them out and be quick about it. Also bring water, for I die of thirst. Bhima ran with anxiety, hurried away without a word. Yudhishthir and Bhima both were waiting for their brothers anxiously. And then Yudhishthir told to Bhima that Arjuna, the great hero, also has not returned. Something terrible must have happened to the brothers. That's what he felt. So he told him to seek them out, to go and find them out immediately, and also bring water because he was dying of thirst. Bhima, racked with anxiety, hurried away without a word. With so much of distress and sorrow, Bhima rushed or hurried away without saying anything towards the forest. His grief and rage can be imagined when he saw his three brothers lying there dead. He thought, this is certainly the work of the Achas. I'll hunt them down, but I am so thirsty. I shall first drink water so that I can fight them better. And then he descended into the pool. His grief and rage can be imagined when he saw his three brothers lying there dead. When he saw his three brothers lying dead there, his sorrow or grief and his anger can be imagined. That means he was very angry and sad. He thought, this is certainly the work of the Achas. He felt that this is not an ordinary man's work. It must be the work of the Achas. Achas are mythological nature spirits. I'll hunt them down, but I am so thirsty. I shall first drink water so that I can fight them better. I'll hunt them down, I'll kill them. I am now very thirsty, and first I will drink water, and then it will be easy for me to kill them. And then he descended into the pool. He went down to the pool. The voice shouted, Bhimsena, beware. Then as he went near the pool to drink water, the voice shouted, Bhimsena, be careful, beware, be careful. You may drink only after answering my questions. You can drink water after answering my questions only. You will die if you disregard my words. If you don't obey or don't pay attention to my words, you will die. Who are you to dictate to me? Cried Bhima. Bhima asked, who are you to give order to me? Dictate to me means give order to me. And he drank the water thirstily. Without paying attention to his words, he drank the water. Glaring around in defiance, looking around. Minutely he was looking around, challenging the voice. As he did so, his great strength seemed to slip from him like a garment, and he also fell dead among his brothers. As he drank water, his strength slipped down from him just like a garment from a person's body. Like that, from him the strength slipped down, and he also fell dead among his brothers. Alone, Yudhishthir was racked with anxiety and thirst. Have they been subjected to a curse, or are they wandering about in the forest in a vain search for water, or have they fainted or died of thirst? Unable to bear these thoughts, and driven desperate by an overpowering thirst, he started out to look for his brothers and the pool. All alone, without his brothers, he was racked with anxiety. He was tormented or afflicted with anxiety and thirst. He was thirsty and anxious also. What happened to his brothers? Have they been subject to a curse? Somebody cursed them? Or are they wandering about in the forest in vain search for water? Whether they are wandering in the forest in search of water, Or have they fainted or died of thirst? While moving around, they fainted or died of thirst. Don't know what happened to them. So he was very much worried about it. Unable to bear these thoughts and driven desperate by an overpowering thirst, he started out to look for his brothers and the poor. Unable to bear these thoughts, he was not able to bear these kind of thoughts. Something happened to his brothers, and driven desperate by an overpowering thirst. He was so thirsty also, he was not able to control himself. Then he started out to look for his brothers and the poor. So finally he has decided to go and search for his brothers and the poor. Yudhishthir proceeded in the direction his brothers had taken through tracks infested with wild boar and abounding in spotted deer and huge forest birds, and presently came upon a beautiful green meadow, gurgling a pool of crystal clear water, nectar to his eyes. But when he saw his brothers lying there like sacred flagpoles, thrown pell-mell after a festival, unable to restrain his grief, he wept. Yudhishthir proceeded in the direction in which his brothers had gone. It was a large area with so many wild boars or pigs, spotted deer, and huge forest birds. He reached in a beautiful green meadow, girdling or surrounding a pool of crystal clear water, which was nectar to his eyes because he was so thirsty. Nectar means a sugary fluid in flowers which is collected by bees to make honey. But when he saw his brothers lying there like sacred flagpoles, thrown pell-mell, means here and there, in a chaotic or disorderly way, after a festival, just like the sacred falls, thrown here and there, like that, when he saw his brothers, unable to restrain or control his grief, he wept. He was not able to control himself, and he wept. Then a sense of mystery overcame him, for this could be no ordinary occurrence. The world had no warriors who could overcome his brothers. Besides, there were no wounds on their bodies which could have let out life, and their faces were faces of men who slept in peace and not of those who died in wrath. There was also no trace of footprints of an enemy. He felt that it cannot be an ordinary incident or occurrence. He suspected some mystery in it. His brothers were the greatest warriors in the world, and he knew that no one will be able to defeat them. Moreover, there were no wounds on their bodies which can be the cause of their death. Their faces were faces of men who slept in peace and not like those who died in wrath or anger. There was also no trace of the footprints of an enemy. No trace of footprints of the enemy also was there. So he felt that there is some magic about it, or it can be a trick played by Duryodhana, or it could be a trick played by Duryodhana. Might he not have poisoned the water? Then Yudhishthir also descended into the pool, in his turn drawn to the water by a consuming thirst. He suspected whether Duryodhana poisoned the water or not. With all these thoughts, Yudhishthir descended into the pool as he was drawn towards it by his monstrous thirst. At once, the voice without form warned as before, "Your brothers died because they did not heed my words. Do not follow them. Answer my questions first and then quench your thirst. This pool is mine." As he stepped into the pool or descended into the pool, the voice without form warned how he warned his brothers before. "Your brothers died because they did not heed my words." The voice said, "Your brothers died because they did not pay attention to my words. Do not follow them. If you don't pay attention to my words, you also will follow them. So please don't follow them. Answer my questions first and then quench your thirst. First you answer my questions and then you can drink sufficient water and quench your thirst. This pool is mine." Yudhishthira knew that these could be none other than the words of a Yaksha, And guess what had happened to his brothers? Yudhishthira understood these words could be nobody else's than that of a yaksha. And guessed what had happened to his brothers. Then he understood. He guessed what happened to his brothers. He saw a possible way of redeeming the situation. He said to the bodiless voice, please ask your questions. He saw a possible way of redeeming the situation means he found a way to make up the situation, and he asked the bodiless voice to ask his questions. The voice put questions rapidly, one after another. Then the voice started asking questions quickly, one after another. Thank you, children. I'll discuss the rest of the lesson in your next session.